Hey, hi, welcome to UpLift with P-Nel. This is our mentorship impact session, and I want to thank you very much for being here. Today is Wednesday, the 13th of May, 2026. And for those of us that are joining live, you already know I keep tabs of every day. Today is the 133 of the year, all right? 132, 133 now, one of the two. But the year is moving very fast, meaning that you spent about 133 days now, okay, in 2026. So in case you've not started moving, I just like to let you know that the year has already moved towards the half. We're getting close to the half, right? By the time we're about 180 something, then you know that we're close to, or we are at the half of the year. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because there is a need for you to begin to do. If there was a time you needed to show that you were ready, now is the time. Rise up and begin to work. Rise up and begin to pursue. If the goals you have set and up till now you've not done anything about them, now is the other best time. The best time was yesterday, but today is another best time. Stand up and work. Get to work because life is not waiting for you. Uh, the world is not waiting for you. People are moving very fast. Tonight, I want us to continue from where we stopped, but today there is something I want to do differently, and that is to address a particular, I don't call it a cliche, but a particular existence, occurrence. And I realized that many people go through this trap or have found themselves in this trap and have finding it difficult to get themselves out of it. What is this? I'm talking about the trap of survival versus fulfillment. I say that again, survival versus achievement or versus fulfillment. All right. Now, what is happening is this: many of us are caught in between survival and fulfillment. What is fulfillment? Fulfillment or achievement happens when goals or visions are accomplished. Survival happens when the pursuit is about staying alive. Survival is driven by fear, achievement is driven by purpose. I say that again. Survival is driven by fear, while achievement is driven by purpose. If you do not understand how to put purpose into whatever you do, the challenge will be that you'll be held up or you'll be trapped in the realities of survival. Many of us are in the survival mode. Many of us are just surviving and we're doing everything possible just to keep our heads above the water. And the truth is this: the moment you do not find a way to break out of it and move forward, you're going to find yourself in that place for a long time. And there are many people who have spent very many years, staying in that place. But that is not what it's supposed to be. What I'm trying to say is this: there is something that is called achievement, fulfillment, and that has to do with the word vision, purpose, mission, destiny. Last week, I began to talk about how to develop a vision for yourself, for your life, for your future. All right. Now, if you are not a career person in the career line that you find yourself, because many of us now, I realize that have found ourselves in a career line that is not necessarily ours, meaning that when you look at your life's purpose and your life's vision, you know that you are just in a contraption, you're just in a trap. There is no future where you are. You are not seeing a future in the job that you are doing currently. You are not seeing a future in the things that you're doing at the moment, all right? And it becomes difficult for you to move forward. And the problem most times is when you find yourself in this kind of a place, what do you do? Okay, for instance, I know that I am supposed to be into leadership development. I know that I'm supposed to be maybe a pastor, right? I'm just giving an example. I'm assuming, okay, I use myself as an example. I'm a pastor. And that part of me is not finding expression. And every other thing I do is just to find a way to survive, keep my head above water, to take care of my family, put food on the table, put shelter over my home, my family, and all of that. And I do not give attention to the leadership development, the people development part of me, which is the core of me, and the vision that I have, which is to raise leaders for global relevance, then I will be held in that contraption for a very long time. And what is happening is that there are many people, you're going to work, you're doing 9 to 5 every day, okay? 5 times a week. But the problem is that in this 9 to 5 that you're doing, you cannot really say that this is leading me to the end that I'm looking for. There is always an end. And we said earlier when we talked about vision casting and putting your vision statement together last week, I said something. I said your vision is what you become at the end of the day, meaning that your vision is not telling you about where you are at. Your vision speaks to the future that you envisage. Now, if you're not able to put your vision together in such a way that it reflects the future that you desire and you're determined to come to achieve, then what will happen to you is that you find yourself remaining in this contraption for a long time where you are not making much progress, even though you may be making money. So there are many people making money but are not making progress. There are many people having profit but are not having growth. You know, the last time we spoke, I began to talk about the fact that growth is not increase. Increase is not necessarily growth. Growth is consolidated increase, meaning that when increase becomes consolidated and it leads you to a new platform and puts you in a place where your former place becomes difficult for you to fit into, then you have grown. Let me say that again. Growth is not just increase. Growth is not that I have profit or I make profit. Growth is that when I put myself right now where I used to be, it doesn't fit. I can't fit in. Then I have grown. So many times we mistaken growth for increase. I'm making more money, so I am growing. No, not necessarily. I am increasing my maybe revenue base, and so my business is growing. No, that's not necessarily growth. That's increase in revenue. That's increase in profit. I understand, but it can lead to growth if the right processes are in place and the right strategies are engaged. But what is happening to many of us is that we are really not growing. What we are doing is that we are increasing. So we increase our funds, for instance, we increase our revenues. Now, and many of us look at what we're you know what we're looking for? We're constantly looking for that new job. I've seen many people, they're in a job, maybe they're earning like 2 million, sometimes 1 million plus per month. Some of them are, that's in Naira, if you're in Nigeria. All right, some people earn like 500,000, 200,000, 300,000. And the next thing you're hearing from them is they're looking for a better job. And what they're describing as a better job is actually nothing more than a better paying job, meaning they want better pay, okay? Now, what we're trying to work on is you do not increase by increasing your salary, or you are not growing rather by an increment in salary. You are not growing by an increment in allowances, for instance, or in privileges that come with your job. What makes you increase or makes you grow is that something inside of you or something about where you are has changed. So growth is change. Growth is that marginal shift, all right? Marginal shift, measurable shift in position, shift in where you are, from where you are at, shift to where you should be, all right? Or where you should be part time by virtue of what you have gained, all right? So I can gain, but until that gain brings about a shift, I have not grown. So growth comes when that particular gain, that profit that comes, that increase that comes, shifts me higher, puts me in a place. And like I said earlier, I like to repeat it again. Growth has not happened if you still fit into the old. Let me say that again. Somebody didn't get that. Growth has not happened if you can still fit into the old. I have outgrown certain things. So there are clothes that I cannot wear anymore. Not because those clothes are not good or they are not nice, but I have outgrown them, meaning that growth has made it difficult for me to fit into the old. So if you fit into the old, you have not grown. Growth shows that, or growth is evident in the fact that you can no longer fit into the old. So I want us to understand this as we move from survival to accomplishment, or from survival mode to fulfillment mode. Now, I like to bring very practical thoughts to us tonight. And what I want to do tonight is quite simple. In as much as I'm trying to, encourage us. Last week I began to talk about the fact that if you find yourself in a 9 to 5, and that is where you are at, even though it does not, or you're not in a career that shows or reflects the future you are going to, it's not bad. No, 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 it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it is wrong for you to stay in a place that does not reflect the future, or a place that does not lead you to the future that is expected. All right. So when expected future is lacking in present career, there is a need for you to strategize. And that's what I want to do tonight. Bring us to that point where we begin to, get more focused, even when we are not in the right place, so that by the time we move into the right place, we are not moving from something to nothing. Now, one of the problems I have with there's this cliche that began to trend some time ago: sack your boss, sack your boss, sack your boss, or something like that, right? You sack your boss. I've sacked my boss, and I'm wondering, you sack your boss? You sacked yourself, because you don't sack your boss. Actually, your boss owns the company. Let me give, assuming you're working for someone, the person you say you sack is actually the owner. That's his company. You're not sacking him. You're not moving him anywhere. So you've not sacked him. You've just exited, right? So I prefer you use the word I exited than say I sack my. Sack your boss. Sack your boss. Sometimes we motivational speakers can be very dramatic. We try to be very sensational, and in the process of doing that, we bring in some cliches to just create a kind of what do you call it now, sensationalism, that makes what we're saying sweet, and stuff like that, right? But then there's a need for us to understand that cliche in itself has a lot of wrong footing when you begin to look at it more deeply. Okay, so for instance, when you say you sack your boss, number one, you lost the job. Oh yes, you lost the job. Number two, if that is the means of your survival, you've lost the means of survival. If you're a family person, that means a lot. Oh, you know that you lose a job, you're no longer working in that place, and you are not, it's not like you've had a good plan where, or an exit plan that helps you to, move swiftly and move into something better, or into something that is already growing. Okay. Now, one of the things I try to help people with when it comes to transitioning is to understand that you don't transition from something to nothing. You don't transition from good to poor. You don't transition from great to good. You transition, when you want to transition well. Transition from good to great, right? And great may not be the same value as good. I want us to understand this. For instance, I may be earning 500,000 in a particular place, and now I have to move, right, to start something that is great. But that thing that is great may not be giving me the same as what I used to receive before. What that means is that what I may be gaining from what I'm doing now, which is in the line of fulfillment and achievement, may not be commensurate when we are comparing now, when we are comparing them, especially when it has to do with the maybe monthly pay and stuff like that. It's difficult for us to look at them and equate them most times. Sometimes you are actually not at the level that you used to be when you were working in a paid job, and that paid job was giving you something, right? Maybe higher than where you are at. Now, what is happening with you is that you are in something great that has not started paying up to where you have left. However, something has begun. And I usually say this: when you want to transition from a paid job, or from a career that does not lead you to your expected end, your vision, like we said your vision is your mountain top. Is that not so? We talked about that last week. Even upper week, we talked about that. That we said your vision is what? Your mountain top. Now, and we said that it is also your finish line. So when you've seen what your finish line should look like and you are moving in the direction of your finish line, one of the things you must put very, very strongly at the back of your mind is that it may not start, your finish line may not start the same way or at the same level where you're at the same level with the place you are transitioning from. Okay, so what that means is this: when you find yourself that there is a need for you to move, and I'd like to let you know when it is okay to move. It's not always okay to move, but there is a time to move. When that time comes and there is a need for you to move, there are signs that you must take note of. There are things that you must have put together. There are strategies that must already begin to work out before you transition, so that you don't transition from something to nothing and then you become confused. Now, I realize that many people get confused, all right? And the reason why they get confused is simply because they do not understand that I must prepare a landing pad for me before I take a jump or I take a leap. When I want to leap and I'm pushing myself to something, I must create for myself a landing pad that is strong enough to receive me. Oh, I wish I could explain this. Please, I beg you, please listen to this. In case you're just joining me, help me share this. I beg you, share. All right, share, get somebody on board. What I'm doing tonight is so strategic and very, very critical. Many people need to understand this. They need to work with this. And I'm speaking from my heart. If you notice, I'm not looking at anything. Now, I just want us to get it right. Many of us are still in survival mode, right? But there is a need for us to move. If you must move, there is a way to move. There's a way to transition. There is a way to find yourself in that place where things become better than they used to be. So what you need to do is to understand some of the strategies, all right? So I talked about leaving a place to another, or moving, transitioning from a job to another, or from a career path that may not be in the line of your future, your destiny, your vision, to a place that is more aligned to your vision or to your purpose, whether it's something you're starting on your own or something you're joining others to do or a new job you're getting, then there must be some things you must know. Number one, I need to take a leap. Know that is a leap. That always comes and is usually very difficult for many people to handle. It's a leap because it is not a step. It is usually moving totally. And if you must do that, then on the other side, number two, you must have what I call a landing pad. Don't jump until your landing pad is set. I say that again. Don't jump, don't switch, don't transition until your leap. Don't leap from where you are until your leap has ensured that there is a landing pad on the other side. Now, I'm trying to set the tone for what we're going to be doing tonight. Because tonight, I want to show us how we transition from survival to accomplishment, from just getting by to being fulfilled. And I said that vision is the key thing. Vision is the number one thing. Number two thing, values. Number three, velocity. I say that again. So there are three key things that we must look at. Number one is vision. Number two is values. And number three, velocity. Okay. So those of us on YouTube, you are the ones I'm facing you directly right now. One of the things I realized with this, what I just mentioned, is that many people have vision, or first of all, many people don't even have a vision. The only vision they have is survival. So survival has already become the vision they pursue. All right. It's the reason why anything goes. So for them, it's about survival. And let me tell you, you are not alone. I've been there. Oh, yes, I've been there. I've been there. I've had to even do some very funny things. When I mean funny now, funny in the sense that I remember back in the day, someone needed to help me to be able to get a job in a bank. And I told them before, I can't do bank job. It's not possible. It's not in me. In fact, thank God that bank job never worked out. They did everything possible. They used all their connections to put me in so that I can go for the interview and all of that. I got to the interview. Guess who I met? My classmate. My classmate was one of those who were, and he looked at me and he says, "Boy, what are you doing here?" Because the truth is, what I was looking for was survival. Everybody knew. In fact, if you knew me at that time, all you just knew about me was that I needed to survive. But there was a vision I had. I knew where I was going to. It was very clear. But at that moment, I needed to survive. And guess what? Many of us are there. In fact, that big job that you have, that job that is paying you well, that is giving you a lot of allowances, that's helped you to, do many things, make your life better, may actually not be your vision. As a matter of fact, it may not even be in the line of your vision. What may be happening to you right now is that you are in a trap. And guess what? It is not over, because that is not all. There are many things that still need to happen to you, which you would make happen. And until you make them happen, they will remain the same. Status quo will always remain until change is put in. And of course, Newton's first law of motion: a body remains in what do you call it now? Stationary. A body remains in the position of what? Without movement. It remains stationary or in uniform motion until and unless a force is exerted on it. That's the same thing that is happening. So you found yourself in a place, there is comfort. One of the things I like to talk about is comfort. Many of us do not understand how to maximize comfort. Comfort is not, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Comfort is not bad. There is something called comfort zone. I think I should do maybe next week or per week, if we are able to get by this particular topic that we're dealing with. Maybe next week I'd like to talk about the anatomy of comfort. There's something I worked on called the anatomy of comfort. There is a way comfort works. There are things that comfort does. Comfort is not bad, but there's something called comfort zone. A comfort zone is a place where you stop growing, you stop aspiring, you stop pushing because you are comfortable. That's the one that is bad. But comfort in itself is not bad. All right. Now, what your job may have done for you, especially if you have a good job, is that it may have created for you a zone, a comfort zone, without which you will not grow. And many of us, have you noticed that life has a way of pushing us forward? And for life to be able to push us forward, one of the ways that life will do that, one of the ways that life will push us forward is to create problem for us, chaos. Have you noticed that many of us will not have moved, you will not have transitioned until there was chaos? So chaos was life's way of pushing you from where you are or where you were to where you are now, or from where you are now to where you're going to. The reason why you lost that job, and I'm talking to someone who may have lost a job, right? The reason why you lost that job is because life is trying to push you out. Have you noticed that since you got into that place, everything just became about that thing that you were doing there? Some of us have left the main thing. We entered into some other things because, don't forget, we need to survive. And in the process of looking for survival, we found ourselves in a job or in a career that has now caged us, put us in a contrapment, in a trap that is difficult for us to move. So sometimes what life would do is to create chaos so that you are forced out. If you're not forced out, you remain there. So comfort zones are not the best for moving people. Let me say that again. Comfort zones are not the best for mobile people. Mobile people do not or are not expected to be in comfort zones. What comfort zones do for you is that they create unusual, unnecessary comfort that makes it difficult for you to make progress. So, but progressive people, upwardly mobile people, see comfort as a threat. to their mobility, as a threat to their progress. So what do you do when you find yourself in that job and the job is not your future and it's not pushing you to that future where you should be? What do you do? That's what we came to do tonight. So I'd like to go into my thoughts for tonight. So what I've done in this few moments is to put things together. Don't worry. By 8:30, I'll be done, and then we can have time to ask questions. So if you have questions, please put them together. I'll be waiting to receive your questions. I'll be waiting to provide answers as much as I can. And then maybe one or two persons may come on board to speak. Don't forget, it's a mentorship session. I'm not here to teach and bombard you with too many talks. Okay, so let's move forward. What do I do when I find myself in a place where my vision is not moving or I'm not moving towards the fulfillment of my vision? I'm just surviving. I'm at that job not because it clearly defines my future and my purpose in life. I'm just there because I need to make ends meet. How do I transition? And I expected many people to be here. There's a young man I've been working with on this. He's working in one of the ministries under the federal government, one of the ministries there. And he's been telling me he needs a job, he needs a new job, he needs to move from where he is right now and all of that. And I remember telling him that it's a process. Understanding the process and the strategies that help the process work will help you move. All right. Okay. So you need to, first of all, if you're writing, you need to help me write this one down now. You need to actively build your life. Actively build your life. And this is very important. Actively build your life. The launch pad and the landing pad are not the same thing. I said that again. A launch pad and a landing pad are not built the same. I'm saying too many beautiful things tonight that I really want people to take note of. Too many strategic, and not just strategic, but very, very intentional things that I want people to take note of. Please, I beg you, if you have someone that you know needs this, share with them. Get somebody on board. Please share this video. I need people to join us and to be a part of this. The launch pad and the landing pad are not the same. Number one. Number two, they are not built the same. Number three, they are not built with the same material. Number four, they do not carry out the same function. Now, when it comes to a launch pad, I'm talking about transitioning now. You want to move from where you are to where you need to be. Like you guys say, sack your boss. Like I told you, me, I don't use that word. Don't sack your boss. There's a need for you to exit where you are, or you found out that where you are is not in the line of your future, but you need to be more focused on your future. There is a way to go about it. And I want to let you know, for you to move from there and to the other side, you need to take a leap. I've said that already. But taking a leap means that there must be a launch pad. And then on the other side where you are going to, there must be a landing pad. A launch pad has a spring in it. A landing pad has shock absorbers in it. They are not the same. A launch pad is designed by functionality to spring you up. A landing pad, on the other hand, has been designed to withstand the weight and the weight, the mass, the shock that you are coming with to land on it. Understanding this changes everything, so that you are not so much focused on the launching pad or the launch pad and less focused on the landing pad. The landing pad is equally as important as the launch pad, meaning where I am leaving is as important as where I am going to. So don't forget, there was a time that in Nigeria, I use Nigeria as an example, we needed a launch, change. That was the mantra. That was the cliche. That was the word. That was the narrative everywhere. Change, change, change. PDP has destroyed this country. Please, this is not political. It's just for us to understand how transitions work. How transitions work. Do you know that what was happening at that time? Please share, get somebody on board. I know I'm saying this. This video, I don't know how long it's going to be on Facebook, and maybe 30 days on Facebook. On YouTube, it's going to be here. So for those of us that you may share this link with someone later, but I want you to get this correctly. When we wanted change, the truth is at that time, we thought that things were bad. We all agreed that there was corruption. We all agreed that things were not the way we wanted them to be. And so we wanted something new. We wanted a new experience. That was a launch pad. We needed to jump from where we are, to take a leap from where we were. But what we were less focused on was the landing pad. If we leap from here, where were we landing on? If we leap from PDP, where were we landing on APC? What was the landing pad made of? And the question that many of us asked then, including myself, was, I know that things are bad. I know we need a change. But my problem was what was being presented to us as a landing pad cannot withstand the weight that we are coming with from this other side. Because if you are coming from here and you are going to the other side, then there must be equal and commensurate, at least equal and commensurate, such that when you leave here and you land here, you will be able to still be holding yourself. But guess what happened? We jumped from here. We leapt from PDP government and we landed in APC government. And guess what? We are going. It looks like the landing pad does not have the shock absorber to carry us, and we have been sinking. Sorry, like I said, this is not in any way political. This is just reality I'm trying to paint before us. It doesn't matter whether you're PDP or APC or whatever you are. I'm just telling you the reality. You can see it yourself. Where we're jumping from at that time was Nigeria was bad, there was corruption. By the time Buhari was leaving, we began to hear trillions. People were stealing. In the days of PDP, people still stole in billions. In the days of APC, under Buhari, we began to hear trillions. The whole CBN governor, they were printing money at will. Allegedly, that's what is on the news. That's what we see every day. All right? There are people right now that are either in court or in custody because of corruption. And I'm saying that don't forget, they told us then that this man that is coming, corruption will be over. And the question I ask is, how? The launch pad and the landing pad are not the same. And that is why we are where we are at today. And guess what? Another transition may happen again. And when it happens again, the way we are shouting now, we don't want to T-Pain or whatever they call him. I'm sorry, allegedly, right? And we are calling all those things. I was saying we need a change. I hope that what we are changing to also, when we are leaping from here now, from APC, I will not land on another pad that will not be able to withstand us and begin to sink deeper. Always be careful when you want to transition. Look at where you're coming from and ensure that where you are going to has what it takes to cushion it. I give you an example. If I'm earning 500,000, for instance, in the place where I currently work, and then there's a need for me to transition and I want to move to a new place, right? Now, assuming that it's my own business I want to start, okay? Assuming it's my business I want to start, please let me know. Zoom, are we still on? Thank you very much, Zoom. All right. Okay, so just let me know in case Zoom is off, I can return. Yeah, thank you. So what I'm trying to say is this: if I'm moving from a particular place to another place, and there's a need for me to do that move, to leap, then there's a need for me to also ensure also that the landing pad where I'm going to is enough to carry the weight I'm coming with. So if I have a family, for instance, I have children, I'm earning 500,000, they're in a school, okay? And the school that I put them, by the time I receive my salary, I'm able to take care of all the bills and whatever it is that I need to take care of as the provider for my family. Then, when I'm making a transition, number one thing I must do is to ensure that the landing pad where I'm jumping to has enough to withstand what I am coming with. So the load I am coming with must be the land pad must be able to accommodate to withstand that load I'm coming with, so that I do not create a problem for my family. So I am not going from 500,000, which has helped me to deal with certain things, to maybe 200,000, where I cannot deal with certain things. So always ensure that your landing pad is able to withstand where you are coming from. Another thing I like to say is this: when it comes to career shifts, especially when you're shifting to the place of vision, because all we're talking about is vision, and I'm going to finish up on those three things I mentioned earlier. For us to be able to get there, one of the things we must ensure to do is that we have what we call strategic alignment. What did I call it? Strategic alignment, and I like to put it together. Number one, your goals must be intentional. Focus on meaningful long-term rather than short-term goals. So let it not be that I am doing this because, at least in the short time, in the interim, I can take care of my home and all. No, that is too small or too trivial, too little, too featherweight. You know what featherweight is? What's another thing for featherweight now? Too light to carry what you're about to put on it. So that landing pad cannot carry what you're coming with. So your goals must be long term. Let it be that if I'm going to stay here and I'm going to stay for a couple of time, this will be taken care of. Number two, establish supportive networks. Don't just jump. Oh God, I wish maybe I may not be able to stop. And I'm talking about values now. I've talked about vision already. Last week I dealt with vision. So now I'm talking about values. The values you need, the strategies you need for you to be able to transition from survival mode to accomplishment mode, or from survival mode to, or what I call, not survival now, getting by, from getting by to getting fulfilled. Right? Then we've talked about vision already. Secondly, we're talking about strategy, which is values. Vision, values, strategy. Vision, values, velocity. All right? So when you set intentional goals, establish supportive networks. One of the things I never do is that I never set a goal without ensuring that I list out the resources that must help me achieve. And one of such resource is your network. What are the network that can support what you are bringing or where you are going? What networks do you need? And one of the problems I have with people is that you've spent 5 years, 10 years in a job, you spent 20 years, some of us 15 years in a particular industry, and you do not have enough contacts, connect, network that can help you stabilize in the new thing that you want to start. Then there's a problem with you. And please, if you're that kind of a person, you need to begin to rework all of this, because you cannot become effective. You will never be able to succeed in this new place if you are not able to first of all, deal with the fact that you need networks. What is a supportive network that you need to establish? Right? Or what are the supportive networks that you need to establish? One of such networks is what I call career network. Now, a career network is simply that network around your career that helps you to know who to leverage when it comes to achievement. Now, let me explain that. Knowing who to leverage or whose relationship to leverage is very important, especially in career people. Now, when it comes to career people, or for you in a career, one of the things you must do is, for instance, I used to be in the tech. I'm still there. Why? Because my contacts are still intact. So I still help people get by in that place. All right. Oh, okay. What's happening now? No, this is fine. So what I'm trying to say is this. While I was in tech, especially in sales, because I used to be a salesman, I'm still a salesperson, right? And in tech, I used to sell laptops, desktops, computers, printers, even software, right? So I used to be in sales. And like I said, I am still there. But now I've made a lot of contact while I was there, from HP to Lenovo. I'm talking of their country reps. Some of them have transitioned, they may not be there right now, right? But if I want to get someone's contact there, right, there is no, just one or two calls, I'm already there. Now, I still go to Zone 3. You know, Zone 3 in Abuja. Zone 3 in Abuja, if you're in Nigeria, Zone 3 is where you have a hub of computer dealers, things that have to, anything tech is like a hub there, right? So it's just like what we have Computer Village in Lagos. Even in Lagos, I still have contacts in Computer Village till now. I still get their messages. They send me WhatsApp messages almost every day. Why? Because I didn't just enter into that industry and just transition from there. No, I transitioned with a supportive network. So you need supportive network. Some of us, where you are working, you say you work in the airport and you do not have contacts of people, right? And the funny thing is that me that don't work in the airport, I may even have more contacts than you. At least I know some of the directors there. I know some of the, I just have a way of ensuring that contacts or networks are always built. I was looking at my phone the other time. I had over 4,000 phone numbers, right? And I'm wondering, oh, wow, 4,000 phone numbers. How? And I realized that because networking is very important for me, I save people's numbers. I keep their contacts, especially professional contacts. One of the reasons why people transition and they die, when I mean die now, not as human being or be losing their lives, no. I mean, their growth diminishes or their vision dies is because they did not create supportive networks. They did not establish supportive networks before they transitioned, right? So they left the banking sector. Now they do not have, they're no longer in the bank, they're not earning salary, but they do not have other people who can support them, maybe help them get a loan, help them, they did not put those things together, right? Now, the problem with that is you won't be able to sustain yourself in the new place. So it's very important that you do what? As part of your values, establish what I call supportive networks. Connect with supportive people. Always ensure that you don't isolate yourself. Because one of the key aspects of survival is isolation. Because survival is driven by fear, it's not driven by vision. All right. The other thing I like to say is prioritize tasks. When it comes to transitioning, don't just transition, prioritize tasks. You need to utilize your time blocking to focus on what? On high impact work rather than multitasking. Now, let me tell you about something. Many people like to multitask. They feel that there's something special about them when they multitask. Please, I beg you, prioritize. As good as multitasking is, it does not it does not present the best as when you prioritize. Prioritization helps you to focus more on what is more important. Prioritization also helps you to give the best, not just giving the best, but helps you to achieve the best per time. Multitasking helps you to achieve many things, which may not be perfect, which may not be the best. You just have some mediocre achievements in many places. But when you prioritize and you choose to, take one task as a priority per time, what you are doing is that you are strengthening that one thing. And when you strengthen that one thing, it becomes the focus for that main time. And beyond that, it helps you to gain momentum and then helps you to, it's not like you're abandoning the other ones, but this one gives you the strength that you need. The focus that you have put on this and the achievement of that will help you to take care of the others. So there are many people that transition and they're doing too many things at the same time. No, please don't. If you transition and ensure that your tasks are well prioritized. Another thing I like to say is this: manage your workload. Oh, don't put yourself in a place where you wear yourself out. Manage your workload. Carry what you can carry per time. It strengthens you. It strengthens you. These are strategies for transition. So when you want to move from survival to accomplishment, don't begin to do everything. You increase, there's this thing that people think that becoming busy, right, is the same thing as business. No, it's not the same thing. You can be busy and not be in business. You can be busy and achieve nothing. Don't forget, we talked about it when we first started some 2-3 weeks ago, when we started the Mentorship Impact Session, right? I talked about the myth, the busy myth versus the impact myth. There is something called the busy myth. We believe that being busy is the same thing as being productive. Impact is not measured by how busy you are. Impact is measured by how effective you are. So we have busy versus effective. Be effective, don't be busy. So the only way to do that is to manage your workload. As I begin to wind down, when we talk about vision, we talk about values. Another value that is very important that I think I should talk about, especially when it has to do with transitioning, is ensuring that where you are at becomes a fulcrum, a pivot to where you're going. Let me say that again. Where you are at is not that bad. Let me tell you the truth. Even if it is not in the line of your vision. Today, maybe you're a policeman and you took on that job because you needed to survive. Please, don't make that your end. But while you are looking to transition to something else, can that place where you are become a stronghold? Can you be so good at it? Can you create so much network around it? Can you be strong in that thing you're doing, so much so that it becomes the pivot for your launching to the other side? And what that means is that do it well, but with the mind that I'm going somewhere. Do it well, but with the mind that there is much more ahead of me. I just needed to do this right now. All right? And when the time comes for you to move, you will see yourself moving at a speed that is even beyond your comprehension, right? And that's what we're talking about now, velocity. Velocity and speed are not the same. I hope you know that. Oh, some people, when we talk velocity, they talk speed. Velocity is speed in the direction. Speed is just increase in motion without a specified direction. So what makes speed different from velocity is what? Direction, vision. So what we're trying to say is this: having developed your vision, knowing clearly where you're going to, having clarified your finish line, your mountaintop, the next thing for you to do is to begin to develop the values that are very important and necessary to help you go there. And then the final thing is your velocity, which is what? Speed in a direction. And I use the word pace most times because many times it's not how fast, but how strong. Are you moving strong? Are you making progress regardless? That's the point. Am I making progress? You can speed so much that you reach a crossroad and you don't even know what to move on, or you don't know how to move on. And then you just see that someone is coming behind you who may not be moving as fast as you are, but gets to where you are at the same crossroad and he navigates, because while he was coming, he was doing it at his own pace. His velocity is determined by what he can handle per time. Every one of us will not run at the same pace. Every one of us will not be, competing. We don't even compete with each other. I'm not competing with you, you're not competing with me. If there's anybody I'm competing with, is myself. So the reason why I want to outdo is to outdo myself, because I think there is more I can do and there is much more I can accomplish. So I push myself harder to do that which I want to do and to do much more. Right now, but velocity is needed. Velocity creates the impact that is needed for achievement. Now, when we talk about velocity, one of the things I want to speak about velocity is when there is distraction, when there is a fog ahead of you, when you can't see clearly, right? Whatever speed you are running at may be speeding into danger or speeding off the track. That's what makes velocity very important. Speed is just moving and increasing, right? Accelerating more. You are gaining more, you're gaining more distance over time. That's speed. But when you're gaining more distance over time in a specified direction, that's velocity. So velocity is related to a compass. And the compass is what I told us some days ago or some weeks ago. It is the inner compass. That vision inside of you, where your vision is pointing at, such that no matter what I do, I am still in line where I'm going to. Can I tell you the truth? Oh, in recent times, I found myself doing one or two things. I've done quite a lot. And many times when I do some of these things and I'm wondering, there's something that gives me joy, is the fact that these things I'm doing, they are still in line with where I'm going. I do not lose focus. I do not lose sight of where I'm going to. Why? Because that is the ultimate for me, to hit the mark. And until I hit the mark, I do not see myself to have achieved. So your achievement is determined by hitting the mark. That's why velocity is very, very, very key. All right. As I begin to wind up so that we can have time for question and answers. All right. There's something I talked about the other time. There is something about the world and how the world responds to us. And I like to put this in proper perspective. The world makes room for the person who knows where they are going. Not because the path is easy, but because their resolve is undeniable. Can I say that again? What I'm saying is very simple. This world, the world, makes room for the person who knows where he is going. And not only that, not because the path is easy, but because their resolve is undeniable. If you resolve today, and it's the reason why I have a problem with those who are overtly dependent on others instead of, when I mean dependent overtly, don't forget that I was the one that told you about establishing networks that are very important, that help you achieve, right? But being overly dependent on other people's graces or other people's leverage than your own focus and determination will make you to arrive late at where you're going to. Because people will always help you at their own pace. Let me say that again. People will always help you at their own time, at their own convenience. If you do not take it up yourself and become determined to achieve, what happens is that you'll find yourself at the end of the day arriving late because you waited for someone to do something that you could have done by your own self if you were resolved and determined. Your clarity is your greatest competitive advantage. I say that again. Your clarity is your greatest competitive advantage. But beyond all of this, why should the world make room for you? Why should people stand up for you? Why should they give you space? Why should people, give you that room to blossom, to push, and all of that? The only way that the world will respond or make room for you is when you are clear about where you are going and you are undeniably resolved and determined to get there. So clarity is not enough. Determination is key. So what I want to say tonight, as I bring this session to a close and wait for all the questions that you have, right? I'd like to say to you, if there's one thing you need right now to transition from survival mode to accomplishment mode, you need what I call clarity of vision. You need strategies, which I call value, and you need velocity. These three must work together for you to achieve. Many people are not achieving. Many people are just getting by. The job may be sweet. You're getting perks. You're getting allowances. You're even getting trips sometimes. It looks like the door is opening, but one of the things that you are not getting at the moment is what I call fulfillment. And for fulfillment to happen, for you to be fulfilled in where you're going to, then there must be a transition. But transition is not possible until you have a clear vision and you've determined what the values are and you're living by them. And then you have developed the velocity, the speed in the direction that helps you to achieve. And don't forget, like I said, if you must transition, one of the things that you must do is to understand that your launch pad and your landing pad are equal and important. They are equal and opposite, but very much as important as they are. As important as your launch pad is, your landing pad is also important. Don't jump from something to nothing. Jump from something to another thing. Let it be that when you are jumping, it will be obvious that you have made the right choice by jumping. And where you're jumping to, must have enough strength, must have enough shock absorber to absorb the shock and to carry the weight that you're bringing from the other side. Never jump into what you do not know. Jump into what you have determined and predetermined before you got there. I'll stop at this point and wait for questions. I see those of us on Zoom. I want to give us the opportunity to ask questions. On YouTube, you can put it in the comment box. And thank you. I don't know these people. God bless you. Thank you, all of you. I appreciate you. All right. On Facebook, you've been amazing. Too many people I can't even count. Too many people on Facebook. Thank you so very much. I'm seeing all of you. But at this point, I want us to begin to bring in our questions. If you're on Zoom or you're on YouTube, you want to ask a question, please, this is the time. You can raise your hand or put it in the comment box. I will see it and I will ask and I will go ahead to answer your question. All right. Thank you so very much once again. So I'll pause at this point and wait for your questions. Whew. Are you in a survival mode? Do you want to transition from survival to accomplishment? What is it that you want? Let me know. Or are there questions that you want to ask about what I've just spoken about? Or maybe all these things have become, you're already doing them well. Beautiful. And I'm happy with you. I'm happy for you. Okay. So on Facebook, who do we have there? Thompson, thank you so very much. Armstrong. See how our mama is here. Mama Hilda, thank you so very much for being here. Armstrong. Jimbeba. All right. And my Bibi, good to have you here. Sabina, thank you. Good to have you. So let's go ahead. Let's see how this works. No questions? Then I'm going to bring it to a close. I want to believe that you've heard me very well and you have understood all the things I've said. All right? Can we move on? We should bring the session to a close, I guess. Okay, because of our time, I'm not going to be waiting for too long. I'll just round it up here. If you have any question, maybe those of us that didn't join early, you can go back and I said a lot. I said a lot, especially at the beginning part when I was trying to create the focus for tonight. So you want to go back and check, you want to go back and review and then see how we can move forward. Thank you so very much. I don't know who this person is now. Thank you. Slum to Stardom. Appreciate you. That's on YouTube. Thank you. Preacher. Thank you. Shadrach. Thank you. I don't know who the other people are. Your names are not showing. So if you put a chat there, I will see who you are and I'll mention your name. And then where else again? On Zoom, thank you so very much, Ezekiel. Good to have you. Jimbeba, thank you very much. Julius, Nicholas, good to have you. All right, so please share this particular link with your friends. There are many people that need to, glean from some of the things we've said. And it's going to be here for 30 days on Facebook. On YouTube, it's going to be here. So you can share the link with someone and tell the person that if you're confused about transitioning, this is where you should come to, right? So next week, we'll be entering into a different topic. I'll let you know. You will get the information. Of course, we'll post the flyers and all of that so that next week, we appreciate you. Mama. Thank you. So that next week we can be moving forward from where we are at. Now, many of the things we're talking about are more career inclined. A time will come, begin to move more into business, into leadership, and all whatnot. So I just want you to know that it's a transition for us. Can you imagine? My mama is here, Mommy Jajo. Thank you so much for taking out the time to be here on YouTube. I'm just seeing you, ma. Thank you. Appreciate you. And every other person that is on YouTube, thank you. Mommy Hilda, thank you once again. So I think we'll bring this to a close. It's 1 hour already. We started 7:30. It's 8:30 on the dot. And I appreciate you for taking out the time to be here. We'll stop here for tonight. We'll continue next week, Wednesday. Please set your calendar, get people on board. My joy is to see people, joining and getting the reward of some of the things we're doing. All right. Don't forget, this is free. We're not collecting any payment from anybody. This is what we do. All right. And don't forget, like I told us last week, this is my vision. I am working in line with my vision. I'm moving in that direction. So this is what my joy is to help people become better versions of themselves, to achieve more, to become more. That's my goal. I am called to raise leaders for global relevance. So if you're here, I see you as a leader. Thank you very much. See you next week. Bye for now.